Okay, you're looking at the master answer list and autofill for all application questions and answers that you can potentially use ChatGPT or any other LLM to build out. So let's go quickly into the resources. This is the brief that you're looking at. The whole purpose of this is to very quickly answer a lot of questions, whether they're specific or broad, so that you're not wasting a ton of time on applications. The prompt, in this rare case, we are going to make a copy and tailor our own prompt. And further down, we actually have the prompt that I have tailored to myself, so you can see kind of a before and after. All the application resources that you've seen and will see within this entire brief are located here. And then there is a segment towards the end of categorizing answers, so they're easier to find. And eventually, you will be able to kind of see my answer sheet. And ultimately, I want us to get familiar with using potentially a tool that allows you to insert shortcodes. So lots of good stuff here. This is reusable for all kinds of areas of work, especially when you're doing repetitive tasks. So let's buckle up and get into it. First thing that we have to do, we're going to create a project. We have done that in the past, so I've inserted the how to here. I'm also going to just show you real quick because it's really fast. Let's just download the assets while we can find them. You should have your assets somewhere that's easier to find. I'm going to just very quickly show you where mine are. Boom. So while I'm here, I'm going to download these so it's easier to upload. Now that we have our assets locally, we're going to create a project in ChatGPT. If you have a different LLM that allows you to upload files, then use that. It's all up to you. Let's create a quick project by hitting the plus button by the projects, and we're going to call this application questions. Create. I want to add files to this, but I'm going to simplify the naming just so there's no uncertainty. As you can see here, I'm just changing the names of the files to oversimplify on the off chance that ChatGPT doesn't get what I'm trying to do. Now I'm uploading and we're good to go. Now it's going to be time for us to make a copy of the prompt, and we're going to add additional reference material if it makes sense for us. Real quick, it's just a matter of opening up the prompt, file, make a copy, rename, put it inside of the application folder, and hit make a copy. Now we want to open up our prompt and we want to add in the specific URLs inside of this prompt so that on the off chance maybe the files that we've uploaded aren't being reviewed properly, we have a second source. This is optional. It should work with raw files, but if you are using a tool that doesn't allow you to upload, then this is the additional option. So go ahead and take a moment to just fill in all these fields. You're basically watching me take line by line all of the most up-to-date versions of my resume. I'm grabbing my LinkedIn URL. I'm putting in bullet points. You kind of get the idea. I mean, this isn't the most exciting part of the course, but it often is the most needed in terms of meticulous attention to detail. These are the projects that are inside of a resume that I'm putting in my portfolio. Again, if you don't have these, it's not the end of the world. It does make things a lot easier because you're training off of existing data. This is my skill table, copying and pasting. You get the concept here. I'm hoping that this resonates. And then I'm going to copy everything and I'm throwing it into my new project within ChatGPT. Check this out at the end. It says memory updated. Just a small note, any type of Google Doc that you feed over to ChatGPT or any other LLM, make sure that you adjust the permissions so that anyone can view this link. Super important so that it gets access. Next, we're going to copy prompt 2. It's the application question format. So we're hopping over to our version that we made a copy of, and we are copying everything in there. Highlight everything in prompt 2, copy, and paste it into ChatGPT. Now you can see that it will say memory updated. Now it's time to copy and paste our third prompt into the project folder of ChatGPT so we can start getting questions and answers. We also are going to supply the application URL if available and the company URL if available. Let's quickly go through this. It's super easy. So I've selected my application questions folder. Very important that I do it within that folder. Great. So now I'm copying the prompt, copy, paste. Now, bear in mind, it's always easier to work within a Google Doc as opposed to the prompt. Just make sure that you're being careful to adjust things. So I found a really long job description, and it's got a couple of just crazy long questions that I don't feel like manually answering. So I am going to copy the job description, paste the job description URL into my LLM. Now, in this particular job description, there isn't a URL for the company. It's super important that I actually insert the URL of the company when possible so that there is no hallucinations or it doesn't predict a different company or maybe even the recruiting company. So I'm going to do a control cut, drop that in here as well. Now, I have asked it to give me a few clarifying questions, so that will happen before it goes about answering the questions. And now it's a matter of just copying and pasting the individual questions from the job application page. So you can watch me copy and paste real quick. All you're seeing here is me rapidly copying and pasting the important questions, mostly long form questions that I wanted to answer, and I'm running it. Now it's asking me the 3 follow-up questions to help clarify so it gets better answers. In order to train the model for future answers and also get to reuse, repurpose, and ultimately spend less time on a lot of these applications, we want to make sure that we're collecting them quite regularly. So I've created a very simple master answer sheet. All we're going to do is make a copy of this. This just gives you an understanding of the structure. We're going to end up throwing that out. So I'm going to do quick file, make a copy, and that's inside of the job boards. I'm calling this TR master answer sheet and clicking make a copy. Excellent. Let's copy all of the questions. And we are going to jump over to our master answer sheet. Now this just gives you an idea of the formatting. I'm going to delete all that and control paste. And now I have all of my questions. Eventually in the future, we are going to organize these using a prompt, which will allow us to categorize them so we can instantly reuse. And eventually we're going to be able to make short codes out of the ones that we really like. But before we get there, we always want to trust but check. So let's check over the answers real fast to make sure that everything feels right. Everything looks really good to me, and there's always adjustments that I could make, but for the time being, I'm happy with this. So now we're just going to copy and paste directly into the answers. Now, it's very important that you don't get these answers out of order or potentially copy and paste into the wrong area. It's very easy to get mixed up. So this is a long form answer that is not part of the questions that I asked. The last thing that I'll say about this is sometimes it's very easy for you to accidentally copy the question, which I've done here. So just be careful with the way that you're copying and pasting. Eventually, we are going to build short codes, and that should eliminate some of the extra challenges here. As you continue into new applications, it's important to make sure that you're prompting ChatGPT to understand, hey, this is a new company, new prompt, new setup. So new application, questions are the same below. So real quick, boom, new application, see the links and questions below. Use the same format and structure as instructed. Hop over to a new job posting. First, I'm going to take the job description. Then I'm going to take the URL of the company. I'm adding that to ChatGPT, and now I'm manually pasting in the individual questions, and then I'll run it. Now I just need to copy the answers that it's given me. I'll throw them over to my master answer sheet and I'll adjust as needed and then plop those right back into the application so long as they match what I'm trying to say. Your master answer sheet is going to start to get very full, and that's normal. The idea is that you want to use this to train future data. So we're going to grab all that and we're going to categorize and organize it using our ChatGPT project that we've created. So first thing is first, let's grab the prompt, copy. Now we're throwing in the raw data, which is all of the questions and answers that we have in our master answer sheet. Select all of the questions, copy, and then paste and run it. It's building all the answers. I'm going to copy this. I am going to go over to my master answer sheet, replace everything. Now everything should be in here and it's separated out by main themes, which is in H1, and you have the separation between these different sub-themes. Feel free to make these compress themselves so you're able to very quickly navigate these things. An additional side note, you will be able to download this and upload it to your document so that you're continuing to train the data. It's really on you as to whether or not you want to do that, But you can see that a lot of this is tailored specifically to the specific job. It just makes sense to have enough training data to continue to get very granular. Take this with a grain of salt, use it or don't. I hope this helps. The last part of this brief is purely optional. These are productivity tools, so I have suggested using autofill smartly. It is a Chrome extension. It is super easy to sign up, and it helps you to fill in the really simple short answer stuff that is often repetitive. Google Chrome has an autofill version, but I find this to be a little more useful, so go for it. The last one is when you are filling in lots of extensive answers that are a bit longer, that are completely repetitive. This often is the best tool for that. It's Magical Text Expander. Really depends on the use cases. When you're doing job applications, I try to tailor as much to the application as possible. But in some instances, maybe you need a very short bio to constantly go in there, then it's a really easy setup. So I'm going to quickly show you how we do that. You're going to download this Chrome extension, and once it's downloaded, you can go directly in through the website. Just a little side note, we are going to be using Magical Text Expander for a lot of our repetitive outreach and follow-ups and responses, so it doesn't hurt to get used to using it. Let's jump over to templates. I'm going to quickly create my first trigger, so bio, paste. This text came directly from my bio, and I want to make sure that I can use it quickly. Save. Now, when I'm building any of my future applications, I'm able to very quickly plug that in. Let me show you. This is just as an example, but here we go. And you can see that it has slapped in the bio that I put in there. The reason I went so in depth with some of this stuff is the most time consuming element of a lot of application work is building the applications. I'm really hoping that this smooths a few things out, or at least gives you some ideas as to how to answer some of these questions so that you're not taking half an hour per question and burning up a ton of time. I hope it helps.